Welcome to the Small Business Sisterhood podcast. I'm your host, Pepper Makepeace, an online business strategist for female solopreneurs and side hustlers, and founder of the Small Business Sisterhood, an online membership community serving small business owners in the first stages of business. Join me as I go behind the scenes with female entrepreneurs, revealing the struggles, strategies, and inspiring stories of these amazing women. If you're interested in connecting with like-minded women, learning effective business strategies from the experts, and being a part of a mastermind group that helps you grow your business, check us out at smallbusinesssisterhood.com. Today we're talking to Liz Geeslin, a chef and owner of In Good Taste Personal Chef Service, in business since 2003. She also uses and distributes the health and wellness products by Jeunesse Global. She recently combined these two passions under her business Better Lifestyle Solutions in order to share accumulated tips and information to help others live better. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Liz. I'm so excited to talk to you and hear all your wisdom and learn about your business and how you came to where you are now.
Oh, great, Pepper. Well, thank you so much for asking me to do this. Was thrilled to be able to meet you online and that this connection has happened, and hopefully I can offer your tribe some information.
Absolutely. And always a pleasure to meet a fellow, at least former Coloradoan. So
Yes, I love Colorado.
Yeah. So, Liz, tell me a little bit about your business and what you're working on and who your clients are.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm calling myself a solutionist. I was just thinking about this the other day because I really have two businesses. Prior to these two businesses, I trained horses professionally for 35 years. And as I was approaching 50, I could see that I really wanted to enter into a business that was generally going to help people. And I had really gone through a big transformation with changing the way my husband and I ate, and decided that that might be something that would be really interesting and fun to do to help other people get, better health, actually, through food. And I was introduced to personal chefing, actually, through my niece. I knew that she was a personal chef, and it was one of those light bulb moments. We were there visiting, and I wasn't asking her with the idea that maybe that would be something that I would do. And it was her answer when I said, Janelle, how do you like being a personal chef? And she said, oh my gosh, I love my clients. And that was the light bulb moment for me, because it wasn't about cooking. It wasn't about how much money she was making. It was about people. And so that resonated with me. And so long story short, I knew that this was going to be a perfect fit. And in 2003, I launched my personal chef business called In Good Taste. And so I'll be in business 14 years this coming February. And so just 2 years ago, I was introduced to an incredible network marketing company called Jeunesse Global. It's still a relatively young company. It's just in its 7th year. And so it's still not really well known, although it is the fastest growing network marketing company in the country, in the world actually. We're a global company. And I just became a product user. I had an extremely amazing transformation with my skin after 35 years in the sun on a horse. Nothing worked, and I was never diligent about doing anything. And I was introduced to their cellular serum that worked fantastic. So long story short, my husband and I started using all the products, and I loved them so much I decided I wanted to become a distributor so I could share both the products and the amazing business opportunity as well. So as far as what I'm doing business-wise and what I'm working on right now is I just recently launched a website called Better Lifestyle Solutions. And the reason I chose to do this is I'm a member of several different women's business groups here in central Indiana. I'm a member of a Toastmasters group, which I love and highly recommend to anybody, whether you really need to do public speaking or not. It's just really great interaction. And I found that when I would introduce myself, I'm not just a personal chef, and I'm not just a Jeunesse distributor. And, of course, I have a business card for each one of those, and I really wanted to umbrella the two of them because they really do fit hand in glove because they're both focused on health and wellness and just living a better lifestyle is what, and so that's why I came up with that name, Better Lifestyle Solutions. So I just recently launched that, and I'm still building actually my Jeunesse business. I branded it right away 2 years ago because I didn't want to just be, this is Liz Geeslin, Jeunesse distributor. I branded it Amazing and Ageless, and I have a Facebook page for that, and I also have a direct link there to my Jeunesse generated website. But the long and short of it is I really wanted to create an online space where I could give back knowledge, tips, recipes, simple kitchen solutions, health and wellness. I think it's different things that I do on a day-to-day basis, and think, you know what, if what I'm doing here just resonated with one person, and I could help one person with this, it would make, that would be worth it. And so that's what I'm really hoping with Better Lifestyle Solutions is that, I'd end up building an audience that they're excited about what I do post, that it's giving them some sort of value. And to be quite honest with you at this point, I'm not even concerned so much about how I'm going to monetize it. I don't know, Pepper, if from a business standpoint, that's something that is really appropriate to say, but I found that with my other two businesses that the money ends up being a result of doing something really well. And when you focus, I think, on just doing everything the best that you can, the money is never a worry. And it could be, maybe I'll end up developing a product or a menu planning program or what, I don't know. I'm leaving all those options open. I'm just taking it one nugget at a time to get my feet on the ground with this online presence, because it is new, and someday I should tell you about the whole story of actually building the site, going about that backwards. But I met a wonderful person in the meantime that did help me.
I love how you've combined your two passions into kind of one umbrella business, because I think a lot of us have more than one interest and want more than one thing that we like to pursue.
Sure.
And, I've done that in my own business, and sometimes it feels kind of overwhelming or complicated to try to figure out how to make it one thing. And so I really like how you're doing that. And can you tell me more about your process for figuring out how to combine the two?
Well, I will say that I had been thinking about this for, I bet, about a year. And it started when I joined Toastmasters a year ago this last summer. And I had just been relatively new into Jeunesse, and I just found that when you have that give you your little 1 or 2 minute elevator speech, and I thought, this is something I somehow want to combine and umbrella the two under one heading, but be able, each one will have their own separate page, and for example, I wanted to I had a separate website for In Good Taste, a very simple one, and the annual dues for that, and it was a website that I paid through the Personal Chef Association. It wasn't expensive, but I thought, why not have a place that anybody that's interested in my chef business also sees what else I have. Those health and wellness products might be something they're really interested in taking, and by coming to one location, and then they go up in the header and go, oh, look, there's Liz that's got her story is here, and then she's got this page called Amazing and Ageless. Oh my gosh, look at how much fun she's having at these conventions. And so it's a way for people to get to know me. And so that process, it took some time, Pepper, really to wrap my head into that process of how I was going to combine the two. And basically what it was just really creating a website just about me. And these are the businesses I do. So and I went through the process because I know so many young entrepreneurs, and just looking at online presence is people brand just their name, their person. They don't have a name for their business. It is like LizGeeslin.com. And yes, I have that domain name. And I went through this with my little gal that helped me with my branding. And I thought, no, I want to have Better Lifestyle Solutions. I've seen other people, we both know Carrie Green with FEA, and I thought, yes, we all know Carrie Green is attached to that, but her business has a name, just like as in yours. We know that you are, small business Sisterhood, but, it's not just Pepper Makepeace. You've got your business name as well.
Right.
So, but it took to answer your question, it did just take some real thought, and then once I got into the actual seeing it come alive in the building process of just creating the pages, I thought, and then the branding after and I thought, this is it. Then it just really it was exactly what my heart wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting to me because you're doing that, it's almost like instead of you selling a product or selling a service, you're now helping people with something that you're passionate about in every way that you can, and you have different ways that you can do that depending on what is best for the person that comes to you.
Exactly.
It becomes so much less about the product or the service and more about, this is how you want to help people and serve people. And I really love that shift in focus, because I think sometimes we can get tripped up on just the product or just the service and just talking about that versus this is what I love and I want to help people and I want to talk about that versus the product. And I really love that. I really love that.
Well, thank you. And it is interesting because I recognize in our women group, there's a couple of gals that are also in some network marketing companies. And, and all of them, there's some really great ones. And it's really interesting for me to watch and listen to sometimes when they're telling their story. And it's not really their story. They're just talking about everything that the products do. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you one great book that I do hope that with your listeners listen to this podcast, they write this down, is Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. Mm. I just
love him.
I love him. I love him. And he gives so many great examples about different companies and why they've ended up being successful. And it's not about, when someone stands up and goes, well, and it's interesting because I just so happened to be the 10-minute speaker at our women's breakfast the other morning. And it starts out, we all go around and it's like, what do you do? And basically, it's not, well, why is it? What is your passion about it? And that's for me that just really resonates within my heart is that I just want to inspire people. I want to inspire people to just live better.
Yeah.
And if there is one, and I know I'm not going to resonate with everybody. And that's the thing is you can't get frustrated and think, well, I don't, someone, unsubscribed or someone did that. You can't worry about that. You have to do in your heart what feels right. And those people that you resonate with, they are going to be your true believers and follow you wherever you go.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, and I think with the network marketing products, and there's a lot of consultants out there that have the same product, but mm-hmm. if you focus on that product, it becomes a sea of all the same product and there's no differentiation. But if you focus on what you're passionate about and why you chose that product, it's a completely different scenario, and you attract the people that, like you're saying, you attract the people that get you and want to follow you no matter what you do. And it's such a different way to approach a business like that, because I think, people get into different businesses like LuLaRoe or Mary Kay or any of these, really great businesses, but sure. It's, or they get frustrated because there's so many consultants that are doing the same thing, but it really comes down to making it your own and making it a different experience than it would be with somebody else. And I just love how you're doing that. I think that is fantastic. You're so awesome.
It just makes me feel so good. But I just look at it and go, well, I have no idea if this is going to resonate with anybody, but this makes me feel so, and I'm just having fun learning how to properly do a blog post and get the picture right. And I mean, and because I just love to learn. And yes, I could have probably had somebody just build a site and away we go, but that isn't how I wanted to. I wanted to learn how to do it. And yes, there are maybe some points where I'm going to go, okay, someone's going to really have to help me through this part. But, and is just me. I'm not saying that someone shouldn't go just say, okay, could you please just make a site for me?
Right.
But, that makes me feel good to hear you that resonates with you, because I think you're right that there's a lot of people, and here's how I look at it is for instance, our Jeunesse website is so beautiful and has all the info. If you want to just know the nuts and bolts about every product, I can't tell it any better than I can direct them right to my site and go, you've just got to go read it. I can't describe it. I mean, I'd rather share my emotion about my testimonial with the product, but I don't need to reiterate what the ingredients are and why this particular thing does this. I mean, I don't have to be, a medical genius.
Right.
That's what your that's what your third-party tools are for. And when you feel really confident about your tools, and that's why it also has to be something that's duplicatable, that somebody else can, if just through their passion and feeling good about using the products, and no matter what network marketing company that you're in, that's for me that is how I have to roll.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the personal chef side of your business. I'm so fascinated by that, and I really wish you still lived in Colorado. So
Well, it really is. It is so rewarding because there's just, when you make food and feed people, it is a very personal experience.
Yeah.
And for me, when I'm making the food, I am thinking about that person that I'm making the food for. And I just know that I'm genuinely helping them, either saving them time in their day, helping them eat better, whatever their solution is for having my chef service. And the people that are in my life because of it, well, like for instance today, I had this little older woman that, she's early 80s, but she had fallen on a table and hurt her back. And so that's why she hired me. She'd gotten really thin and needed to gain weight. So I know most of my clients, I'm either helping them maintain or lose. And here was a lady that I could, oh boy, good. I can use like butter and, cream cheese and all that. I take her to coffee every 2 weeks. I cook for her once a month, but on the opposite week, or the opposite 2 weeks, I take her to coffee. So I took her to coffee today. And I love her, and I love when I leave her. I say, Ann Galvin, I just love you, and she says, Liz, I love you. She goes, I have to say, I'm glad that I had an injury because that's how I met you. And I said, well, we've made the best of a bad situation for sure. But so that's for me, and I think too. I mean, I look back when I was in my 30s, and of course I wasn't. Yes, I was always a sensitive person, but didn't think about that depth of those kind of. You just get. As you get older, you just cherish every moment you're with somebody that you care about, and never miss a step to tell somebody you love them.
Right.
Which I wanted to ask you. Did you get my 5 Ways to Live Better PDF?
I did. I love it.
Good. Like it?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Good. You have such beautiful products.
Thank you. So anyway, as far as the chefing, and this is something that I can help your listeners, is when I first started, I felt very confident that the business part wasn't going to be difficult for me because I had already been self-employed for so long in the horse business. To tell you the truth, it was just, instead of, saddles and bridles and hay, it was groceries and cooking utensils. It really was just a different medium, but I had a lot of the same attributes that I had learned being in the horse business. And when I was first starting, and of course, there'd be times I'd only have, one cook day a month or a couple cook days a month. And fortunately, my husband could support us at the time. But what I made a commitment to doing is every day I did something. It doesn't mean like all day I would be doing it, but I made a point that I did at least one thing that was towards building my chef business. It might be, because I was building my business around healthy home cooking, it might be modifying some more recipes within my recipe program to make them healthier, or getting in contact with more personal trainers to see if I couldn't get an interview to come in and just share what I did, bring in some samples of some crustless quiches, or just using my brain to just think of things that I could do to help my business grow. Get on the message boards. Of course, this is way before Facebook and members groups and that sort of thing. But our United States Personal Chef Association had a member board, and boy, I'd get on there and just read different questions people were asking and going, God, I never thought about that. Figuring out what kind of containers I was going to use, and all of that was just asking questions and just learning as much as I could.
Right.
It has been a good business. It's really treated me well, and I work hard. But at the same time, it allows me the freedom, as does the network marketing business, to be able to travel. If I'm going, I have a best friend we were 12, had our horses together, and she suffers with ALS. So we're going to Hawaii together for 2 weeks in April, and, manipulate my business around taking time like that. So that's the joy of, as you know, as a solopreneur, you work hard, but you can manipulate your time in order to have that time freedom.
Absolutely.
One thing that I wish that I had started doing back, I really wish I had started in my 20s, to tell you the truth, but I would have taken it back even in my 30s, when I was still in the horse business. You have to set, I don't care if it's just $20 a week, $100 a month, whatever, is set aside something in savings and in towards a retirement plan. It doesn't have to be a lot, and I highly recommend the book. I think the author is David Bach, but it's Automatic Millionaire. You can read the book in 3 hours, I promise you. And it absolutely will open your eyes at the compound effect of, and how easy it is to just waste a couple of bucks here and there. And I'm not saying don't go out to lunch or don't do, certain things, but it will make you sort of pause and go, okay, well maybe I don't, especially if you're starting a business and money is tight and you look at, even when it's tight, still set some aside. You won't miss it. Make it go automatic, where you have it come out of your checking account and go somewhere into a savings that you just don't touch. And that will just then keep that padding there, that when you get into a bind or something happens, that you've got that cushion.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I think, when we are first starting out and money is tight, it's almost kind of a last thought to actually set aside money. I know a lot of early business owners that don't even pay themselves anything because it just all goes back into the business. And
Sure.
Yeah. And so, making it automatic just a little bit at a time, I think that's an awesome idea, because it does add up very quickly.
It does. I know when I look at my savings account, I look and I go, holy moly, that's looking real. And then what's funny is it gets big, and then you think, God, I don't want to touch it. There's like, no way, I don't want that to even go down $1. Yeah, it's very rewarding. I mean, and it's just a nice buffer. And I promise you won't miss it. There's times I think, oh boy, I had a couple clients go on vacation, and I've had, just when you think the income this month might not be as much as I thought, always surprises me. I'll get a call from someone like, oh Liz, need this, and I think, you know what? I am just so blessed, fortunate. I don't know what you want to call it, but I think when you just put good out there, good comes back to you.
Yeah. Well, and you put in the work. I think, it's not like you're just sitting around not doing anything, waiting for stuff to come to you. You're putting in the work. Was there anything surprising that, like in that beginning stage of starting your personal chef business, was there anything that surprised you about that process?
I think for me, because I would take it so personal, I was very fortunate that I have 6 people that I still cook for on an every 2-week basis that have been with me since I started.
Oh, wow.
Which is really incredible. That's really, in this personal chef industry, that's very rare.
I'm sure.
Because it doesn't, for a lot of people, it works for a while. They have a run at it. And then, their lives change or something happens. A couple things that would surprise me sometimes is just, I've been very fortunate that most people always treated me really, really well and nicely and considerate. But then when you'd have those 1 or 2 that didn't, and you're just so shocked that, you can't believe that, well, did they even just call you? Or you are all set and you think you have a cook day set up, and then they don't, and then they never ever return your call. And then it's like, and to me, I think I would never do that to a person.
Right.
And so that I think is a surprising thing. You just realize, not everybody is like yourself, and you just let it go and you don't cry over it and you just move on. But it always will surprise me just sometimes how people behave. Not everybody has good manners.
Right. Well, and I think that's really true. And I think, as we start our own business, it feels like such a personal endeavor. It's really hard to not take things like that personally. Because, I've had clients that, we're going along and things are going great and I get a lot of great feedback, and then suddenly they just disappear.
Right. I know. And it's
like,
hard.
What happened?
Yes, it's hard to not take it personal, because you're invested and your emotions are involved.
Yeah.
And I totally understand, Pepper. Absolutely.
So I think that's a good lesson and a good reminder for all of us that, it happens to everybody. It's not it's not a strange thing that only happens to you. You're gonna have those people that
Yes.
they either aren't ready for you, or they don't get you, or there's just something else going on in their lives and it's not about you. So
Exactly.
just keep going.
Right. Exactly.
You have been an entrepreneur since out of the womb, it seems like.
Well, at 9, yes, I was raising money.
Which is so awesome. I love that about you. So tell me kind of about your process of having your own business and getting it online. Because I know that the online business world is so different than the in-person brick and mortar kind of thing. So tell me about that process for you.
Okay, well, it is definitely a huge learning curve for me. And it's really fun because I really look up to all of you young women that are out there already doing it. And in fact, I'll listen to some of, in these groups on Facebook, and I think, I'm not even sure I understand what they're talking about. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
I think we all are, actually.
Right. I'm just sort of really out there, and we'll just sort of see what happens.
Yeah.
But I also realize that I'm not going to be afraid of it. I think the thing is what do I have to lose?
Right.
I want, in my heart, I now have a platform where I can post some recipes. It might be just one person goes, oh my God, I just did a post on chicken quesadillas, and I made a little video, and of course, I've got to figure out how to upload music other than what is just on the music thing that I have. That's just, there's so much I still need to learn. And I think that we learned this a little bit, I think in FEA, where it's like it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it.
Right.
And that's the thing, is I just am fearless about that now, thinking, what do I have to lose? It's not going to be perfect. I do want it to be as perfect as I can.
Right.
But if it's not, and somebody's like, oh God, that video was kind of dorky, so what? At least I did a video that shows people how to wrap quesadillas right for the freezer. I haven't seen one online where they've done that, and it's only 49 seconds long.
That's awesome.
So I think that's the thing for me, Pepper, is the online thing. It's just going to be, that's what I get excited about, is now when I finish up a cook day, I can look and say, oh good, now I've got, a couple of hours I can go in and maybe start, and I always keep a running thought process, what I want to blog about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'll be in the kitchen doing something. I thought, I got to take a picture of these salmon cakes because I'm going to do a recipe, and at least then I have a picture, or this particular tool I'm using, because I get excited about stuff that works. I like stuff that solves problems, and especially if I've discovered something after, let's say, for instance, just a dumb kitchen tool that I've gone through several, and it's like, this is the bomb, and no one should ever have to go through trying 5 different ones. Just get this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great because you do have to just try stuff and get it out there, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's all a process. And, not letting that fear and not really knowing how to do something stop you from moving forward in your business, I think is so awesome. And I commend you for that, because a lot of people get stuck with that. Good job.
Well, and what's so neat, Pepper, is just looking at what you're doing for, your, I don't know if I want to call it a tribe, your group, your people that are...
My sisters.
Your sisters, that's right, your sisterhood, exactly. Love it. That's what I'm really finding, is that there are more helpful people out there than not helpful. Like when I first started, I ended up, I will tell the story one of these days about the whole, me trying to get the website going spiel. Anyway, I'm using a Divi theme to get right down to it. And there's a Facebook Divi group. And there, I get on there. I'm sure I'm probably the most neophyte one on there, but I just will put stuff out there. And people will help. It's fantastic. And that gives you a great comfort about humanity, that, people, I think, definitely want to help each other.
I agree. And there's a lot more of that kind of coming up now, and I really love that. And the community and the support that is kind of bubbling up right now in the online world, I think is so beautiful. And I'm really glad to hear that you're getting that too. So good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I feel, that's the thing is I think, well, I'm just going to answer a question. Worst case scenario, no one answers. If I don't ask the question,
Yeah.
right, I got to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, and I know that you're also out there helping people, by answering questions too. And so I think it's this beautiful process of helping where we have an expertise and then asking when we need help and getting, it's this really nice circular thing that's occurring.
Oh, exactly. Well put, Pepper. That's exactly. And that's what makes the world go round is there's enough for everybody. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Anybody that thinks that, it's when you see any of that activity going on, it saddens me because it's like, really? I mean, there's enough to go around for everybody. Just be your best person,
Yes. Yes. Love that. That'll be a good quote for your book. So do you have, one final word of wisdom or like an action step that people should take?
Well, I think, one action step is even though I know a lot of your sisters are, they're getting their businesses going and maybe finances are tight, work on some plan to make a commitment to set something aside, even if it's $10 a week, whatever, but then commit to it and stick with it.
Yeah.
Grab that book, Automatic Millionaire, read it, and then it'll make it easy for you to do. I promise you, if you put that book down and don't do it, I'd be surprised because it really makes it very clear how simple, and especially because, like you said, probably a lot of your sisterhood, they're young women. I really wish that I had that knowledge when I was, in my 20s and 30s. When I look at the money I wasted and did, man, not that money is everything, but it's certainly, my husband and I, we went through bankruptcy. I know what it's like to almost lose your home. And so it's just for emergencies, for, just something to have. It'll be a good thing. Yeah. And second of all, I think is in the midst of everything, and as hard as they are working on their businesses, is always that even if they get frustrated, they need to stop and always take the time, just like I said on that 5 Ways to Live Better, is they have to be proud of themselves. They have special gifts for the world. Mm-hmm. There might be days when they don't feel like it. I know there's days, there have been days, yes, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, but Pepper, there were days I thought, I just want a 9-to-5 job.
Yes. Please,
somebody just put me in a cubby hole and shove some proofreading or something, and then I'll just go home and, have a beer. Whatever, and then I'd go, nope, that's not me.
Yeah.
So, but to just take that moment that even if you're frustrated, to know that there's always, light at the end of the tunnel. Look for just that little bit of, look for the good in as much as you can and be proud of yourself. Not meaning being boastful. Just look at, you have something to offer the world.
Right. That's beautiful. Thank you. And I'll be sure to put the link to that book and also to your free download in the show notes.
Oh, wonderful.
That's great. So
great.
Thank you so much, Liz. This has been so much fun talking to you. You're so awesome. You're such an inspiration.
Thank you. You're so sweet. Well, I appreciate it, and I'm just delighted to get to know you. I think you're doing a wonderful thing with your sisterhood, and I think you have an amazing big heart, and I know that you're my Skype buddy now. I see you online. I can Skype you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Liz. Thank you, Liz, for talking with us today. You can find out more information about Liz and the link to her website in the show notes for this episode at smallbusinesssisterhood.com/13. I hope you found this episode useful and inspiring. If you did, please pop over to iTunes and leave a review. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.